Loud, powerful, unstoppable. The U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds are an elite aerial team, the best of the best. But for most of its history, women weren't allowed to fly. That didn't stop them from trying. Let's back up. It was 1943. World War II was underway, and the U.S. needed pilots. Enter the WASPs. More than 1,000 civilian women volunteered to fly. They tested and flew aircraft over 60 million miles. But the conditions were dangerous. 38 female aviators lost their lives and weren't given the honor of a military burial. Leaders like Jackie Cochran and Nancy Love pushed for equal treatment. But Congress and the press pushed back. Some even accused them of stealing jobs from men. By 1944, the WASPs were disbanded, but their contributions couldn't be ignored forever. 4 years later, the military officially began allowing women to serve, but their numbers were capped at 2% per branch. After 3 decades, the first class of women graduated from the Air Force pilot program, and they were still banned from flying combat planes. It would take until the 1990s before the combat exclusion policy was lifted.
Doctors and scientists have laid one concern to rest. Qualified women are as capable as qualified men in the fighter cockpit.
That progress was still years away when a 5-year-old named Nicole Malachowski saw her first F-4 Phantom at an air show.
They came screaming by the runway, and I remember it rumbled my chest, and I remember just shaking with excitement, and I was thinking, that's what I want to do someday.
At 12, she joined the Civil Air Patrol. At 16, she soloed a plane with the Air Force Junior ROTC, even before getting her driver's license. Malachowski blazed through the Air Force Academy, graduated, and became one of the first women to fly modern fighter jets, including the F-15E Strike Eagle. Over a 21-year career, she flew 6 different aircraft, logged over 2,300 flight hours, and completed 188 combat hours in the Balkans and Iraq. Throughout this time, her dream stayed the same.
Look to your left.
The Thunderbirds.
By the United States Air Force Thunderbirds.
Malachowski knew it was a long shot. Every year, she deleted the application. But in 2005, she applied anyway and was selected, becoming the first woman Thunderbird pilot in history.
I used to always bristle a little bit at the thought of being called a woman fighter pilot. I realized it means something to see someone who looks like you succeeding. So if me wearing that Thunderbird uniform inspires young girls to follow their dreams, whatever it is, that is no doubt absolutely a humbling feeling.
The helmet she wore was custom painted with her call sign, Fifi. Today, it sits in the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum. And Malachowski didn't stop at the Thunderbirds. She rose to the rank of colonel, advised Pentagon leaders, and worked to support veterans and military families. Through it all, she never forgot her heroes.
Fast forward to this time when I'm a Thunderbird. As I go towards the autograph line, there's this group of 3 or 4 older women wearing the telltale blue scarves of the WASP. To me, they're like rock stars. And because of everything that they did 60 years prior, I was able to have this opportunity. And they had been standing there all day in the autograph line to get my autograph. And they stood there and they're like, "You're our hero." I thought, how backwards is this interaction right now? Can I have your autograph?
Like the female flyers before her, Malachowski refused to let go of her dream. And in doing so, paved the way not just for herself, but for the dreamers after her too. Be sure to check out more Smithsonian stories on another episode of National Treasure.